St. Louis Gospel Hits, Hallelujah 1600. Hello again, everybody. What's up? How you doing, Facebook family and the radio family, the world out there? How we doing? Kevy Kev back for episode number 2. We're back at you, number 2, and this is it. It is the Community Corner with Kevy Kev, and what a great day because pro football is officially back in St. Louis as the St. Louis Battlehawks. They got it done. They trailed the whole game, waited till about the last probably minute of the game to take the lead, but that's all that matters is where you at when the game ends, right? That nothing else matters throughout the entire game. They got it done today, and with a win over San Antonio, 18-15 the score. They got it. They got the win. So we are here going to celebrate some football back in town, back in the STL. And then also we're going to celebrate and talk about 50 years of hip-hop. So my guest today, we're gonna hit both of those topics, talk about football, then we'll get into some hip-hop and kind of reminisce and talk about where we are today. Got some young artists coming up who laying it down right now. And also got a Hall of Famer to talk about with this football. So we're going to get those things kicked off. First of all, it is an honor to have joining me on the show. And speaking of Hall of Famer, he is a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame at the University of Missouri, Mizzou, my old school too. And by the way, Black History Month, representing the brothers of A5A, the fellas. We got it down. Got to get it in there, right? My daughters are also, she representing the AKAs too, Krista. So we got to get that going. So you see where the gear is. But we know we love the Divine Nine. We love everybody. So it's all good. But our first guest, Hall of Famer at Mizzou, number 45. Played there from 1967 to 71. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate in the 1969-70 season. Led Mizzou to their only trip in the history of the university to the Orange Bowl, and I went on to be drafted in the first round by the Chicago Bears. He was the heir apparent. Y'all look this one up. The name Gale Sayers, another Hall of Famer. He was drafted to be his heir apparent to replace him. So I'm talking to my good friend, Mizzou Hall of Famer, and I should also say went on to win championships in Canada in the CFL and the Canadian Football League too. Don't want to leave that off. I'm so happy to have with us here Mizzou Hall of Famer Joe Moore. Joe, how are you? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Absolutely. Well, wanted to get you on because, like I said, this is a special day. St. Louis. We've had some tough times with pro football coming and going and coming and going, and then we get pro football back, and then we get the pandemic, and now it's back again. The Battlehawks played today, and they won their first game of the season. So first of all, let me get your thoughts on pro football back in the STL.
I think it's great. I think there are coaches who never would have got a chance to be head coaches or position coaches. Player personnel managers, college scouts, people even make uniforms. All the things that go into making a football game, all those things happen today, and the crowd was large too. Mm-hmm. So I think you would have thought of Super Bowl last week that you wouldn't have this kind of turnout, but it's showing you that the audience is there, they are enthusiastic about it, and the players are doing their best to get another shot.
And I think you said a key word too, Joe, is opportunity. And
yes.
It goes beyond, like you say, the field. I mean, I was looking at the officials, seeing opportunities there, the media people, the coaches, the promotional people, of course the players. But around the game, there's so many people that might not necessarily be on the field like you were, but they're all part of the game that are needed. And this league, this XFL, is providing an opportunity, and we're going to see that in motion here on March 4th when the Battlehawks play the first game in St. Louis.
Well, they look good, and from last year, they were in first place when the league folded. So they're not just – this is not a surprise to me. They have the talent, they have the coaches, and they enjoy what they're doing. And that's what's most important. When you're having fun, football can be a great opportunity and a great way to spend an afternoon.
Absolutely. And talk about having fun. I mean, your history, I mean, you started going back to your days at Beaumont High School. Big shout out to all the Blue Jackets out there, right?
That's right.
Yeah, shout out to Beaumont, of course. You played your high school football at Beaumont in the late 60s, and then you get an opportunity to get a scholarship to go – you had several offers, but – to go play football at the University of Missouri in Columbia.
Well, the great thing about it was coming out of high school, I was just playing football because it was fun. I didn't know anything about all these scholarships that were available and that you had a chance to go to pro football and all these kind of things. I just was out there with my friends. That's what everybody else did after school. So I went out there and played football too. And then Norris Stevenson, the first black to go to Mizzou, came to Beaumont in my sophomore year in 1964. And he was a running back. So he changed me from a guard to a running back and told me that I had a chance to be a first-round draft choice. I was 17 years old when he told me that. So I was terrified. Like you putting all this potential on a kid who just like running into people. And he told me, quit running into people. You got to start running scared. Run away from people. Don't want nobody to touch you. Stay away from as many people as you can. So long story short, I had 1,312 yards and never played in the fourth quarter.
That's
my junior year. So I think we did all right.
I would say so. And in your junior year, you had a chance to play for a national championship
we
against
played for
Penn
the national
State.
championship. We played against Penn State in the Orange Bowl. We were tied for number one going into the game. And we lost that game 10-3. We had 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Joe Moore had one of those fumbles, so I just thought I'd throw that in there before But they had a great team. They had we had 12 people go to the pros from that team. Mm-hmm. They had 9. Mm-hmm. Franco Harris was on that team, by the way.
Hall of Fame recently passed away.
That's
right?
correct.
Franco Harris,
That's correct. But he was a sophomore when I was a junior.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a great. I mean, I had a conversation with him after every game. Never talked about football. Ever talked about football. He just played it. So to have an opportunity to be around that many people who went on to play pro football, but football wasn't their whole life. It was like, this is a way to pay your way to college. It's a way to take care of your family. And it's a way to coach if you get a chance to do that. Be a sports announcer. It was just wonderful to be at Mizzou at that time.
And you, like I said, that was a special time. And then, of course, after that, you get set to go play pro football. You were drafted by the Chicago Bears. And if I'm not mistaken, the Oakland Raiders, the Raiders were in Oakland.
The Oakland Raiders and the Chicago Bears drafted me in the first round. And my father, being a Teamster, told me that if you're going to play pro football and you're going to move back to St. Louis, I think you better go to Chicago.
Closer to home, right?
Well, Illinois, Kansas, and Missouri, Arkansas, these people that watched you all 4 years, or maybe even when you were in high school. And so if you go out to Oakland, you better stay out there in Oakland because that's your fan base when you get to the pros. Now, the only problem that I had with that is Oakland went to the Super Bowl. And so that's the only thing I regret about not going out there. But Chicago Bears took very good care of me and my family. And I would never get over or stop appreciating what they did for me.
That's really special. And you know, something we should say about that is you were actually drafted while you were in the hospital.
That's
right?
correct.
You had a separated shoulder.
I only played in 4 games in 1 quarter. Played in the 5th game in the first quarter, separated my shoulder, playing against Nebraska. And we were 4-1 going into the game. We 4-0 going into the game. We lost to Nebraska, 21-7. And so that was the end of my college career. But what the beautiful thing about it for me was that they only won 1 more game after I got hurt.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that was important, but what the pros were saying was that you were the reason they were winning. That's why they didn't win anymore when you got hurt. So I didn't know that was worth something until they started writing numbers down, and then I said, okay, thank you for, I didn't thank God for getting hurt because what it did, it gave Jim Harrison, my fullback, it gave him an opportunity. He took all the runs that I would have taken.
That you would have taken, yeah.
And so they got him drafted in the 2nd round. So how could you do any better than that?
Well,
and the more I look back, now when I first got hurt, of course I wasn't so appreciative of it. But after I saw him get drafted in the 2nd round, I said, wow, this is spiritual.
Wow.
This is spiritual. We 1st and 2nd round in the same backfield, in the same 4 years in college. I mean,
that's really special. But look, I know we're coming up on a break, and I want to get to you a little more on the other side because one of the things too that is, I think, so special about you is that you have your son, Joe Moore the third, Joe Moore the third, of course, who was a great athlete, great football player locally here at Cardinal Ritter
That's right.
Prep college prep high school here, who originally played his first 2 years at Arizona State University, recently went through the transfer portal, and now will be playing at your old alma mater of Mizzou. And talk about deja vu, what an ironic thing to happen. And so when we come back on the other side, I'd like to talk to you about how does that feel about your son almost 50 years later, right? Coming back to play at Mizzou where you played, and I know you've had to go through all those kind of things of watching him come play, sign, the whole things about NILs, transfer portals, all these things that happen to college athletes today. And he had to deal with a pandemic in the mix of it as well, all those things. So get your thoughts on that when we come back on the other side of the break here. And again, we're celebrating football because football is back in St. Louis. We're so excited. Hey, the STL is everything is on and popping right now. We got soccer, City SC is coming. Man, it is on right now in STL, y'all. So Joe Moore, this is Kevy Kev, and this is it's our community corner with Kevy Kev on St. Louis Gospel Hits. Hallelujah, 1600. Back in a minute. Hallelujah, 1600. It is Gospel Hits. Kevy Kev, it's Community Corner with Kevy Kev. We're back at you after your patience with us. We glad we are doing this. We are here, and it's been really special because we are celebrating football back in St. Louis. The Battlehawks win today over San Antonio. Good win, good caca win for the BH, the Battlehawks, and we're happy. We're excited about that. So we're talking it over with Mizzou Football Hall of Famer Joe Moore. Joe, before the break, we were getting into it. We were talking about things that were happening. It's like a 180 for you because you had this great football career in high school, college, and the pros, and winning championships in Canada. And now your son is, after 2 years at Arizona State, is coming to play football at your alma mater. He's a Mizzou Tiger now.
And I'm so proud of that. I can hardly stand it. When he came and told me that he was transferring, he went into the portal because Herman Edwards got fired. His head coach got fired. So, and that was such a great thing because Herman Edwards brought 8 coaches here to sign my son to go to Arizona State. So I never heard anything like that. And so when Herman Edwards got fired, I was like, wow, man. You know, he went through that situation, number 1 in the country at Cardinal Ritter, and now you go out here with a number 1 coach who played 10 years of pro football, and he's gone. So what's going to happen now? So I didn't know what to say or what to do. He came home Christmas and told me he's enrolling in Mizzou. So I'm happy for him. He's happy.
Yes.
And so he's considered as one of the best edge rushers in the country. And so I'm just proud of him and to see him out there playing the way he's playing and he's happy doing it. I can't expect any more except for maybe they win 10 games this year.
Well, I think it's safe to say too easy for you and Mom to get to Faurot Field Memorial Stadium in Columbia than that trip out to Arizona.
That's right. Just get in the car now and don't have to get on that plane like we did before.
Yeah, that's a great thing, and I know Joey's going to do some great things down at Mizzou with Coach Drinkowitz there, Eli Drinkowitz, and we can't wait to see him suit up for the Tigers this fall. Really excited about that. You know, as we kind of wrap some things up here too, Joe, I know you enjoyed the Super Bowl last week.
You know I did. That was one of the best Super Bowls that we've ever had. And for 3 points, I go back to some of the New England games. They won 3 Super Bowls, all 3 points difference. And that'll keep you sitting there watching the game to the end of the game. And the level of play now is so much better. The quarterbacks are better. The wide receivers are better. Some of the things that you're seeing now is almost unbelievable. And for Patrick Mahomes to play on an ankle like that, I've never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like that. That was heroic and superhuman. That was a little different.
Really different. He is what a player he is, and Kansas City is sitting on cloud. It's beyond 9. They're just enjoying it, and we're so happy for our friends right down Highway 70 in Missouri, the Chiefs and everything. But, you know, now there's one thing that I have to say this because, you know, we like to, in words of my friend Demetrius Johnson, who we all love and tribute to DJ. Sitting here in the radio, when I started doing sports here, I was here with DJ. We had a show called The Sports Wave. And as DJ would say, keeping it 100, Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator in Kansas City. African American.
Correct.
Okay? He coaches, call plays with their head coach, and he's been the coach there for several years. Been to the 3 Super Bowls with them, won 2 of them, and he leaves the Chiefs to go become the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator with the Washington Commanders.
Correct.
You mean to tell me you go to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years as an offensive coordinator, you coach Patrick Mahomes, and you can't get a head coaching football job? Now, look, we made a lot of progress last week. We were celebrating 2 African-American quarterbacks.
That's right.
I have to tell you, something with that pitch, something's wrong with that.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I'm not a football pro like you, but even a guy watching the game, I watched the game. How does that happen, huh?
Well,
you tell me.
That's one of these mysteries that we won't find out for a while.
Okay.
That's it's kind of ridiculous, really, because like you say, 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and you're the one
you
calling
can't
the
get
plays,
a head coaching job.
You can't get a head coaching job. I mean, you think about how many head coaches got a job and got fired in 1 year.
Right.
He should at least have the opportunity to blow it. But if the man is putting me in the Super Bowl, he certainly has my vote.
Exactly.
And 3 Super Bowls, I mean, and you win 2 out of the 3.
Right.
I mean, what else can you do?
I don't know. And you heard the head coach giving him credit in the post game.
That's right.
With his play call. So I don't understand that. I don't understand that, but I'm calling it like what I see it.
Because the way you see it, it's something
don't
that
smell
we don't
right.
know.
Something's wrong.
That
ain't right.
That's right.
That is not supposed to happen. It ain't supposed to be like that.
He should have had the opportunity.
Absolutely. So, just had to get that one off and that. But Joe, man, it is a pleasure, and I know we're gonna be back and be talking more football because it's Joey and the Mizzou season gets closer and closer here. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too.
And it's always an honor to talk to you. And I should also say this: Joe is a retired school teacher, taught for 40 plus years in the St. Louis public schools, educating our young and teaching them, helping them develop and grow, and certainly history. The history that we're talking about here. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I want you to know that was just as much enjoyment as it was playing football.
Absolutely. And man, that's good. And speaking of, having students and hopefully, you have some little small influence on them. Our next guest here are actually the 2. We have Rob Powell, who's the owner. He's the producer, director, everything with Bruh Got Game. And I'm going to get him to spell that for you.
Yes, sir. Bruh Got Game. BRUHGOTGAME.
See, that's it, bro.
Entertainment.
Entertainment. Bruh
Yes,
Got
sir.
Game. And he's here with his brother, rapper Jay Bird. Jay Bird's in the house, fellas. How we doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. Amazing.
Doing great.
Doing great.
Well, my man, you guys are doing some fantastic things. I know you got your social media going, so they getting a chance to hear you. They know about your music. And I think when we get our break, we're going to get a chance to probably get a little something going here with some of your hits. But Rob, we're going to get you to tell us first about you and what you're doing with Bruh Got Game. And let me just kind of say this too. And then we're going to talk about Jay Bird and how you guys are doing some. I've seen y'all's work. That you all do in the schools, community service that you provide, performing for students, and it's awesome. But tell us about yourself. Now, I knew you when you were a student at Carnahan High School. You were a sophomore. You had interest in radio, but I got to tell you, you went way beyond what I was able to teach. You took it to the next level. So, and then you worked for Sony and with PlayStations.
Yeah, so, of course, Pulley was my teacher, actually my favorite teacher, by the way. So shout out to you, Pulley. You've been elevated as well. But, of course, I was a student at Carnahan. I was the first to actually go to Carnahan when it was a middle school. And then as it transitioned, I was the first freshman, sophomore, junior, then senior. And then I graduated out of Carnahan. So through my journey of coming up in St. Louis, I just had to hustle. It was I feel like I'm
a hustler.
Yeah, I'm a hustler. It's in my blood. So I started working for Sony PlayStation and as a marketing manager. So I was getting the newest games off the market, the PS4, the PS4 Pro. We launched the PS5 and all their exclusives. And, of course, being the philanthropist that I am, I always want to give that back to the community, especially to the kids that look like me and come from where I come from. So that's what always inspired me to constantly go back to Carnahan and do something for y'all. But then now I started my own entertainment company with my little brother right here, Jay Bird. We really brothers, by the way.
Yeah,
real brothers.
Right.
This is my little brother.
Yeah.
And we've been running it. We've been running it, for a minute now. So I do all of the marketing and all the videos. It's truly in house, truly from the ground up. So, of course, when you talk to some people that just don't see the vision, sometimes I don't say much about it. I'm from the show me state. I'm gonna show you. So, on top of that is with the entertainment business, we also started the foundation to actually go back into the schools to be able to help the kids, get them opportunities. And what started that was, of course, working for PlayStation. I was doing so many different things. I was a part of the PlayStation Cares and Make-A-Wish. But then I started seeing how they were actually going into other communities and doing tournaments and doing all type of cool stuff for kids. I was like, we need this in St. Louis. We need to do this for the kids that come from the south side of St. Louis. And through that, we started it up.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Absolutely.
It's like
something's going on. I'm not sure.
That's like
is that we got a little stuff going. Hey, it's live, right?
It's live, y'all.
But one of the things in watching you is that you would always come back because you would get all these latest games, and of course the kids love it.
Yeah.
So you would have these events, and they would come play the games, and you would tell them about it. And you think about it, you tell the kids, you had the dream job. I mean, your job was to actually play games and then give the research to Sony on what you thought was good, what kids like, what they didn't like.
Yeah, pretty much. So as a marketing manager for PlayStation, I was running like a region full of like all of the sales from retail all the way to make an impact in those communities. So I was the first person to actually go into a school on behalf of PlayStation. But then I seen that ultimately it was the betterment, doing something for the betterment of somebody else's job. I'm such an entrepreneur, so, if it's not motivating me or moving me, I ain't gonna stay there. You know what I'm saying? So I started the BGG Foundation so I can be able to do that for the kids only from St. Louis. Not only from St. Louis, but the ones that really need the resources. So, I partner with I have a lot of different sponsors now that, support us with swag, sponsorships, and even funds to be able to go into schools, help kids build esport portfolios and help them get opportunities to pursue esports.
You said a word there, esports, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at, what is it? Maryville University.
Maryville, we have events for Maryville, SLU, and
Southern University, Edwardsville. I mean, these schools, kids are getting scholarships now because of their skills with the video games, right?
Yeah, they're getting paid. Once I started seeing Fortnite kid, like there's a 13-year-old kid who won a Fortnite tournament in Columbia, Missouri. He was with me when we went out there, but he got $13,000, and I was like, that's insane. So my thought was, how can I get this to the kids from the south side of St. Louis? Like, what I got to do, how we can make this happen for some of the kids. But like that was through utilizing so many relationships that I've made throughout my journey. So through PlayStation, they still one of my sponsors for the nonprofit, as well as Microsoft and Worldwide Technology. So they do a lot of supporting, but we really just trying to impact the kids and kind of cultivate the culture in St. Louis that we want to see, because everybody say they're doing stuff in St. Louis, but it's lip service.
Well, I know you want to make it, and then also I know you put it out there too that, if there's schools out there, organizations, church organizations, community organizations that would like you and Josh to come in. I've seen y'all when y'all come into, and I'm sure if they go to your social media, tell them where to go, they can see all the.
Yeah, can check out the website, bggfoundation.net. We also can follow me on the internet on Instagram at BGGFNDN on Instagram, and then Rob Brubra on IG as well.
And spell bruh for him.
Bruh. BRUH.
You have to
2 times.
the hip-hop spelling of it, folks. I want to make sure we get
Rob
it right.
Bruh. That's one word.
Bruh. So when we say it's not brother, it's bruh.
It's
BRUH,
bruh.
man.
Yeah. So
I keep it.
And the reason why I came up with that name, of course, is when I worked for PlayStation, I was getting all the newest technology. So I jumped right on YouTube. I created a YouTube page called Bruh Got Game. So I got game, I got knowledge, as well as I'm nice on them sticks. Right. So you want to see me in Mortal Kombat 2K? What you want? I got hands for everybody. So a lot of people used to follow me they'll hit me up on Twitter, YouTube. They challenge me, and I do them dirty. I got to show them how I get busy. And then I'll put it on the internet, and then we just had a community that we grown from there. Once we started doing that, my little bro made all my beats for my intros, and he make his own
Jay
beats.
Bird makes the beats.
Yeah,
Yes,
Bird.
sir.
It's a Bird beat. So when you hear a Bird beat, they like, that slap. You know what I'm saying? When it starts slapping, they like, who's making the beats?
Right.
And then once we transitioned to, him really taking it serious to the point of his artistry, then I started the label.
Okay. And that's where we are now. And so Jay Bird talking about you, man, making those beats. I got to tell you, man, your logo, this bird, man. I don't know. I've heard about birds with the battle hawks and stuff. Ed talk with it. But this bird, I don't know. The battle hawks might look at your bird. That's graphic, man.
They got to rebrand. I'm the biggest bird.
That's a nice bird there. I don't know. He might not be a hawk or a battle hawk, but he's quite a bird.
Yeah.
So, but man, man, I really enjoy your music. You got some, fat beats, PHAT.
Yeah, I appreciate
that
it.
way. Right. That's what I'm showing my. You gotta remember my old hip hop DJ, right?
For sure.
So fat is PHAT. Right, BJ?
Yeah.
That's how we right?
That's right, Fully. You right.
Yeah,
They
right.
be
See,
fat.
see, when I
Right,
was
it's
coming,
fat.
somebody had a song. It was called "Sitting on Fat." Right? See, that means that they had it going on.
Yeah, they sitting on. They got
got
the juice.
Right, see, I'm sure. That's right. See, well, I can get away with this now because we talking 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I can get right, Ed. I can get away with this, right? So anyway, it's about you though, man. I enjoy your music and I love the way you get out to the schools, man, and you get the kids vibing and feeling you, man. So tell me about your music, man. I know BJ, we're gonna try to hook some stuff up so you can get a chance. People, so our Facebook, everybody on the radio here at 1600 can hear some of your music, man. But tell me, who inspired you, man, with your music and your style, your flow and everything?
Being that it's a celebration of the 50 years of hip hop, I'm such a historian, a hip hop historian. My dad, my brother, they played so much music around me growing up, all the way from like Project Pat, 36 Mafia, Nas, Tupac, NWA, all the way up to Outkast. Then I was listening to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, and then it just kept going, and I kept going with hip hop as long as it kept going. But I'm such a historian. But as far as my inspirations, I started making beats before I was rapping. So I had inspirations on just the production side of it and how should a song sound. And with that, my inspirations were, of course, Juicy J and DJ Paul of 36 Mafia because they production, it was just so ahead of the time, like when they was making beats in the 90s. Yeah. I'm also influenced by Dr. Dre, Kanye West, and Hometown, Metro Boomin.
Yes,
Metro
sir.
Boomin. And so with all of that, since St. Louis, we in the Midwest, I just got influenced by so many different sounds, the South, the East Coast, the West Coast. And when I blended all of that together, it just turned to something that nobody never really heard. On top of that, me having influences when I rap as far as Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, Migos. Right. So I combined all of that together, just being a Midwest kid that's influenced by, the world. And so, it turned out to something unique, that it's a unique experience that nobody never heard yet.
Well, you know what, man, and I give y'all a lot of credit because, like I say, when I was doing it in the late 80s into the 90s, it was tough, man. I mean, you had to try to get that radio play, and I heard you guys even have a conversation here with RPD, man. It's tough. It's hard, man. It was, it's. I mean, but it was a different kind of hard back then. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, you had to get on the radio. Now you guys have all these platforms and things too that you all are using, and that's tough. But of course, you still want to get to the radio, but it. But in the meantime, while you working to get to a point, y'all are getting it out there, man. And I think that's a great thing,
Yeah, you got to. You gonna hit the bird? Go ahead.
Well, no, you can hit it too. But I was just gonna say you have to, because when the doors close on you on one end, you can't just sit there and just dwell on it. You got to find different paths to get it out to the people.
Yeah.
So like, it's been a lot of times where the door closed on me, and I could have just sat there and just dwelled on it, and like nobody don't want to let me in. But I was like, I'm about to create a path myself. I'm about to kick the door down myself. So y'all don't want to let me in, y'all gonna have to see me. Y'all gonna have to see me in the building. So it's the same mentality, and we real brothers, so we move with the same type of intent, the same type of personality to really knock down these doors. So
facts. I can't work with nobody like this dude. Of course, this is family. So when it comes to like the work that it has to go into, we work hand in hand. Of course, making music videos, learning about marketing, SEO optimizations, and making sure that when you search them, you can find it. Putting everything on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and all these platforms. That's the beauty that we have now. The difference is, of course, it's a rat race. Everybody's scratching and clawing to get to the top. But the work ethic that you have is different. Of course, doors gonna close, and you can't sell nobody on your dream. Some people don't know you, so you got to constantly show. We from the show me state, baby.
For sure.
I saw that with you today, because you found out what your why is. I heard that conversation.
And of course, respect. And I love when I talk to anybody, because I talk to so many different people, and you can't sell a dream to nobody, especially if they don't know you from a can of paint. You just gotta how you present yourself and how you kind of show through the moves of your actions. That's the best thing that I can do, because if I meet somebody, this is the same thing. Running the label, people see that we doing things that they not doing. So of course they'll come to me and be like, "Yo, bro, like check me out." And it's the same thing. But when it comes to showing somebody how your hustle is, that's the difference.
Action is the best example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Facts.
Yep.
Action's the best example. Show me state.
Yeah.
So when you go out and you're talking to, because like I said, I've seen you all at the high schools, you're at middle schools, you're in elementary schools talking to kids. So what's one question they generally always ask you about what you're doing?
Me?
Yeah.
A general question is normally, I get the kids help on the music aspect of it, because we do actually do the games, but I get them help on the music, and they always ask me, how is the process, and how does it all come together? And for me, that's why I'm actually grateful to actually be able to go back into the community, because growing up, you look at some of these rappers as like, superhuman, superheroes that you would never get to talk to, you never get to touch, you never get to see. And so, I just wanted to be able to not only make great moves in the world and raise up my brand, but I also wanted to touch my community in the schools and show them that, I'm here. It's not just like an entity that you just hear about. Like, no, I'm here and y'all can see, and that provides the inspiration for them so they can see the process. But, I walk them through the process when they ask me any other questions about the music business or the music game, just to show that, it's someone out here who will talk to them actually about it, and not just leave them in the dark.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we are about to get another little break. You're coming up on the break, but Facebook family too, y'all can hit us off. Y'all have some questions or comments or thoughts, chat back at us. Krista's over there checking the feedback, want to know what you think, what you got, and we'll let you guys give us the info too. So we'll be right back. We're going to take a break. This is Community Corner, Kevy Kev on Gospel 1600. It's Gospel Hits. Hallelujah, 1600 Gospel Hits. Kevy Kev. We are with you, Community Corner with Kevy Kev, and it has been on today. Just really enjoyed it. Been talking football, with Joe Moore, football back in St. Louis, pro football back in St. Louis, and celebrating 50 years of hip hop is the topic. We've been talking all about that today. And we are with Rob Powell from Bruh Got Game and St. Louis rapper sensation Jay Bird. And they've been talking about what they're doing on the hip hop side here in St. Louis. They're doing it with video games, so getting out in the communities. And again, if you like them to come out and they just provide this, they just volunteering their service just to the community, schools, church organizations, clubs. Rob, how do they get in touch with y'all if they want you to come out there and
Yeah. For sure. Go to bggfoundation.net. You'll be able to book any type of event. We do mostly school events, but we also do corporate events for different organizations. But of course, the ultimate goal that we have to even start it, the nonprofit, is to kind of help kids from our communities. You know, when you ask yourself a question on, you know, what's lacking in today's youth, and it's critical thinking, when you understand around how kids struggle with critical thinking due to social media, you know, they have a false sense of reality due to those things, and lack of resources or lack of inspiration, you know. So, of course, if they're inspired by the hottest rapper, you know, it can be an NBA young boy, but we also have a Jaybird that you can, you know, see and feel that's actually in your community that really doing groundwork, and in the music hard. So, yeah, they can be able to find us always. We got a little bit of everything.
Absolutely, that's it. And Jaybird, and we just got a couple of your songs. So you just dropped a new single. Tell us about the new song. What's the What's the Plan? I'm thinking here.
Oh yeah, What's the Plan?
What's the Plan? Tell us about that. And I've heard that song too. What's going on with What's the Plan?
It's my biggest song to date. Over 1 million streams on it. It got me over 30,000 plus Spotify monthly listeners off of What's the Plan. Creating it, I made the beat. I started with a sample. I created the whole beat. We made it in the studio, and I remember I knew it was a hit because soon as I hopped out the booth, it was me. It was Rob in there and my homie Ray. And soon as I hopped out the booth, we all was just dancing in the room. We turned up. And when music just take over you like that certain feeling, you know you got to hit because you can't help it. You might just want to chill and just sit down, but something about the song, something about the music, it's getting you pumped. It's making you move. And when I put that out to the world, it was just marketing it every single day. Radio, ESPN videos, NBA videos on Instagram, TikTok. We really had to take that and hand deliver it to the people. And with it being such an organic song like that and building it up, it caught the algorithm of Spotify, of Discover Weekly and things like that. And so once it hit Spotify, once it started catching the algorithm, it shot up.
It went crazy on SoundCloud.
Yeah, it went crazy on SoundCloud first. It was just such an organic song.
Following everything.
Yeah, it was really organic. And being that, when the pandemic first hit, it everybody was in the house. And it just made me focus on that hustle and that grind and building up that social media following. Right. So all of that combined with it, the social media personality, the song, the beat, the video, the marketing every day, we pushing it, it just shot out the moon.
On out.
Yeah, straight out the south side
and
of St. Louis.
You did the video to it, Rob. You did the video to it, right?
Yep.
How did you come up with the video concept? And I know you.
We simple, man. We'll go to a basket. We can do anything. We'll shoot. We can turn up literally anywhere. You know how me and my friends are. Sometimes we hard to control when we all together. But once I make the call, I flash the light in the air. You feel me? All my homies come out, and then we'll just have a party. But when it came to What's the Plan, we wanted to do it at a basketball court. Yeah. It was crazy because during the pandemic, I was working I think I was working some trash job. I got off work. I went to the park. I'm like, this gonna be the park we gonna shoot it at. And then literally we made that dream a reality. And we made it. We shot it. We had Jibs come out. We had a bunch of people come out that's from the city. And man, we had a blast. We had we turned up real hard that day.
Turned up.
Really all our videos, but once I shot it, put it together, it was magic.
Yeah, you mentioned Jibs. Now he was with you at Carnahan, is that right?
Yeah. Jibs, okay. we went to school together back in the day, but that's my boy. Yeah,
your chain hang low.
Yeah.
Chain hang low.
Yeah. That's my homie.
Shout out Jibs.
Right.
Shout out Jibs.
Shout out Jibs.
I remember that. I remember that. So man, that's real special. Well, we like I said, we are up on this 50 years of hip hop and of course just hearing Jay Bird, man, he showed his knowledge. He went way back and brought it up to today, you know.
Yeah.
So, But something I'll say too, and you guys kind of hit on this as well too, and you might have some thoughts on it. St. Louis has always been a great place for the art of hip hop because we didn't really necessarily have a rivalry with the East or the West. We just enjoyed the beats and the music.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't say, oh man, when that's from the West Coast, I ain't feeling that Dre, or that's Jay-Z on the East Coast. I ain't with that. We just like music.
Music lovers.
And the artists know it because that's why BJ knows records. That's why they always wanted to come here to the Midwest.
Yeah. And we the hardest city to please, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people scared to come here to perform, but when you get it out the mud, you going to these, like, we were doing, like, open showcases, man. We was at the marquee, you feel me? Like, it's not the best places, in the sense to, like, be as other people would come to. But, man, this is our family here. People here in St. Louis, they lift us up.
Yep. When you actually coming from those places, straight out, like, out the hood, out the gutter, when you coming from those places and people, they seen you grow up, they seen you do that, and they seen you turned out to what you are today and start rapping, they hold another sense of, like, embracement. And, they fight for it even harder. So, with that embracement, I take it out to the world. I feel like a superhero.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got the embracement of St. Louis, which that's hard to get. And,
now
it's like a superhero.
I have to ask you this too, because I've seen this myself with my own eyes. A lot of the young rappers like yourself come. You go back when they were in 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade. They walk around with this book. This it looks like I guess now it's on your phone now, right?
It's called your notes.
Yeah. It's your notes, right? So you pull. I'm sure my age DJ,
notes
they all laughing at me because I'm talking about books. Don't nobody keep a diary anymore, right?
No, that's kind of funny. I got a notebook still. I still write in my notebook.
They be sitting at the cafeteria and they got this book and they got their rhymes in it, and they did you do that or did you like that with your phone?
You know what's crazy? I wish I was rapping like when I was like in middle school, high school. I started rapping when I was 22.
Okay. How old you now? You look like you're still 20, less than 22 now. I'm still if you want to. I don't know.
No, I'm still only 25.
Okay,
I'm still only 25.
Also, but he under 25, but that means 22. That's way back in the day, right?
But I wish I know now with how the times are now. I got a lot of notes in my phone. I don't necessarily write it down. Sometimes I do got to get a book, and when I start writing, it feel good. It feel good sometimes. But I keep a lot of notes in my phone. But back then, I was just normally just freestyling sometimes. Yeah, but I never knew it would turn out to be what it is now. I was just
but sometimes at some point you got to commit to memory in order to do his videos. Or you can't freestyle while he's shooting the video, right? I mean, you got to
try. He be trying, man. I'm like, rap the words, man.
You gotta because you gotta sync that stuff up, right?
Yeah, trust me. He'll make a video. We'll make a song, and then we'll shoot the video the next day. He like, what I say? I'm like, come on, bro. You
don't write it down?
Yeah, write it down,
so
man.
now I got real good like memory. Like it just repetition. And when you keep doing it over and over, you just know it like the back of your hand. So that's the best way I do it to remember repetition. Yeah.
Oh man, and it's funny though. Like you said, when you get a good beat, a good track, you know it. It's kind of like in football, Joe. When the players executed all 11 men, it's poetry, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same way. So, man,
it's like what's the plan? It's poetry with that song. I knew it, and I tell you when I knew it was a hit. He rapped it for me before he even went to the studio. He made the beat.
Oh, he did.
He rapped over it. I'm like, I'm not one to gas him up because I'm one of his biggest critics. I'm his brother. Like, bro, if it ain't hard to me, I'm gonna tell you, like,
right.
This ain't gonna make me move. I know nobody really gonna move, but once he started rapping it for me, I'm like, yo, rapping for him, my homie, rapping for him, rapping for her, rapping for them. I had him running around everybody.
I went on a tour
rapping it
before the song was even out.
Put it out. But once we put it out, and we found a way to actually give it to people because we had to break through a barrier of like putting music out and just thinking it's gonna do something. You had to actually give it life. And you start a little fire, now it's on fire. The forward is lit. So like that's what it is with the What's the Plan track. Especially went to the A and
we went to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Went crazy.
It went crazy.
Well, fellas, I can't thank y'all enough. We got about a minute left here, but I want y'all to because you all have so many platforms and so much media. But tell them, how do they follow you all? How do they get in contact? How do they see and hear your music? What do they need to do?
On all social media, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's TikTok, Twitter, all of the social media platforms. You can find me at Mayor J Bird, like the mayor you vote for. And I sound a little country, but it's Mayor, M-A-Y-O-R. I'm from St. Louis, so Murr. M-A-Y-O-R-J-B-I-R-D. On all streaming platforms, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, anything. You can find me at J-Bird. Search up What's the Plan, search New Wave Order, Bird Flu, any of them. You can hit shuffle on the catalog and all of it slap. So y'all gonna love that.
You can get there.
And
then
then
Game, how do they get in contact?
Bruh Got Game. All my platforms is at Rob Bruh on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere you can find it. If you want to get involved with the nonprofit and support, check out bggfoundation.net.
All right. Man, y'all are doing it, man. I want to thank you all, and I should say congratulations to you, too.
Yes, sir.
Because great things are happening for you in the future, and congrats.
Appreciate you. And thank you, Pulley, for allowing us to come on the platform, man. You've been a real one from day one. Since I was a bad kid, you was coaching me.
Oh, no. You were never no bad kid.
Running,
never.
Terrorizing everybody at Carnahan.
Never.
No, for sure. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, we want to thank everybody. Big shout out to BJ, the DJ, of course, the program director.
Shout out DJ.
Giving us the opportunity here, and we certainly appreciate it. Joe, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Bringing pro football back to St. Louis here,
yes,
Joe.
Sir.
All right, man. Thank you so much. That's Joe Moore, Mizzou Hall of Famer. And, of course, you can look Joe up. He's all over YouTube and the history books. Joe Moore. Look him up and look out for his son coming to Mizzou this year. He'll be there with the Tigers. M-I-Z.
Z-O-U.
Z-O-U.
There you go. I got that from Krista. Big shout out to Krista, too, over there, representing the AKAs and helping us out over here on Facebook. And, of course, Zulu Sports and Ed, making it happen with Zulu Sports. Edwin, all right, always in the house. All right, want to thank everybody. This is Kevy Kev. Thank you for being with us here on the corner of the Community Corner, making it happen, all right? St. Louis Gospel Hits, and we'll talk to you next time on Hallelujah 1600.